They finally did it. They finally did it, my friends. Nintendo made it happen. They fixed it. It's ready. Now, as of today, February 18th, 2022, I can actually recommend that you go get Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. And that feels so good to finally say. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce, and this truly is monumental because after a lot of bah humbug, after a lot of but wait, I really feel like now is the time to go all in. All right, make sure to hit that like button and let me know in the comments down below if you agree that now is the time to buy in. Nintendo Switch Online, $20. Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack, $50. And when it started off, they were like, yo, we got a few N64 titles, a few Genesis titles, and we got Animal Crossing Happy Home Paradise DLC. Decent value if you like specific things, but now they've expanded, and as of today's edition, I can endorse, all right? Because Nintendo has announced that The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask is hitting the service next Friday, February 25th, bringing one of the most unique and underplayed Zelda games that's out there. And now that N64 lineup has Paper Mario, Banjo-Kazooie, Ocarina of Time, Mario 64, Mario Kart, Mario Tennis, Yoshi's Story, Star Fox, and Majora's Mask, and it feels fleshed out. Not to mention that these games, some of them have online multiplayer, something never possible before. And while I slept on that feature as something like, okay, it's a shoo-in, there's all these problems with the graphics and the glitches, well, they've worked on a lot of those. They have been slowly, behind the scenes, improving the play experience to make the emulation better. And now you got a very nice lineup of games, and if you're a Genesis fan, you got a great set over there as well. But it's what they decided to do with the DLC that has me even more smitten. Okay, because they started off saying, yo, throw you a bone. If you play Animal Crossing, there's like 38 million of you out there, you get the DLC. $25 value, so you get that. Man, you're basically paying for the expansion pack right there with just the DLC. But ACNH appeals to a specific type of player. Yeah, it was a wider audience than ever before by a long shot, but it's still a type of Nintendo player. And then they made the really smart move to say, yo, we're gonna expand upon our DLC offerings and give you a glimpse into what we actually plan to expand with this expansion pack. Okay, because they've been smart, right? They are still drip feeding the games, but it's been regular for N64. Every single month, it's regular. That's really great. Okay, that is a nice count-onable feature that we know we're gonna get probably a good game, and they've gone through a lot of good games. There's a lot of hours of content there between Paper Mario, Banjo-Kazooie, and now Majora's Mask. That's 3 classics, nostalgia, out the wazoo, you can play for a long time. But it's adding their biggest seller, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC, the Course Booster Pack, to the expansion pack, boom. Now you got $50 of DLC value, but what they did so smartly is they took their 2 biggest player bases, Animal Crossing and Mario Kart, and said, every Switch owner probably has one of these, right? How many of you have one of those? A lot of you probably have both of them, but most of you probably have one of them. And now you get 2 $25 DLCs to cherry pick from, and if you enjoy both, wow, even a better deal. But it's the future that might be even brighter because Nintendo has now shown that 2 top-tier first-party titles have their featured DLC, both worth $25, both available free of charge via the expansion pack. Now, I do not believe the hyperbole out there that Nintendo will put all of their DLC on expansion pack. I think there's too much money to be made, and some games it would be too big of a sacrifice. Like, I don't believe Pokemon Legends Arceus DLC will hit expansion pack because I think that is $20 or $30 that you can just soak up. That game sold like crazy, the fan base loves it, and they are thirsty for more. Feed them and line your pocketbooks. Nintendo is a business and they will do what businesses do. Try to make money, try to profit. But I do think there's an opportunity for more DLC to hit this service. And hey, perhaps it's DLC that targets more wide appeal games, like perhaps Mario Party Superstars gets its DLC boards added to Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. If Splatoon 3 does multiplayer anew again and becomes the summer sensation, hey, put some Splatoon 3 DLC on the expansion pack. Pick games that are going to target a wide swath of players without sacrificing all of your money makers. If Switch Online expansion pack adds 1 DLC a quarter, 1 DLC every half year, couple a year, I mean, this now becomes a really worthwhile purchase. And now we can open our eyes to the actual value proposition at hand. Nintendo Switch Online, the $20 basic subscription, costs $1.60 a month. That is pocket change. And if you consider it, yes, $50 is a big increase over $20, but on a month-by-month basis, this expensive service is still only $4.16 a month. That is half of your Disney Plus subscription. That is a third of your Netflix subscription. That could be a quarter or a fifth of some of your more expensive monthly services, and you're getting access to Mario Kart, Animal Crossing, N64 Genesis, a Zelda nostalgic collection that they chose not to give us or sell to us for the 30th anniversary, a bunch of Mario games, and the opportunity to relive the glory days of N64 with your friends and family via online multiplayer. Don't matter where they are, you can duke it out in Mario Tennis. You can race in Mario 64, and you can race in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe because you're gonna get that DLC too. Now, if they do decide to eventually add Game Boy Color and or Game Boy Advance to this service, then boom, the value just exponentially multiplies. The problem initially was that it was too narrow and there wasn't enough, but I feel like with the advent of Mario Kart 8 DLC and Majora's Mask, there is plenty. There is plenty you can play to earn $4 a month. Okay, $4 a month. That's less than a Starbucks coffee a month to play a bunch of stuff and possibly get $50 of DLC with the prospect of more DLC. When this thing gets $100 worth of DLC for $25 packs and has an expanded N64 catalog, an expanded Genesis catalog, and perhaps another platform or two, it will soon be one of the best values in video games. And the turnaround for Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack is very impressive in my eyes because I was down on this thing from day one. I thought they started way too slow, the offerings were way too slight, and the future was too murky. We don't know how Nintendo will operate. Was Animal Crossing DLC just a bone to get us to buy, or was it hints at future plans? And would they do the SNES and NES drip feed once a blue moon, or would they do a regular schedule? They've hit what I've asked them to hit. Schedules, future, content, DLC, wide swath of players, value. And honestly, this comes at a weird time because we just discussed how Nintendo is shuttering the 3DS and Wii U eShops, effectively closing down the virtual console on those respective platforms. That is a negative. There is no good way to really spin that. But Nintendo has made abundantly clear that they ain't gonna offer these things any easier way. They want you to subscribe to Switch Online, and if you're interested in keeping a classic games library available to you to play where you want, both on the go, 3DS style, and at home, Wii or Wii U style, then the Switch Online subscription service is the place you have to be. If you do want to partake in Nintendo's nostalgia, it's $4 a month. Could these catalogs be bigger and better? Yes. Should Nintendo just drop their entire collection and say, boom, we're the Netflix of Nintendo? Yes. But shoulda, woulda, coulda aside, I am content with the content that is now in front of us. And yeah, for some of you that have no desire to go back and play N64 games, for those of you that do not own Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or Animal Crossing New Horizons, this is still a hard pass. And hey, that is okay. I think a lot of what Nintendo did wrong here was start the service off slow and start with a $50 yearly price as kind of the big marketing push. Because it's the 20 versus 50 that felt so wrong. It's the 20 versus 50 that made us feel like Nintendo was just taking advantage of their loyal consumer base and saying, hey, they'll pay whatever we want. Had Nintendo framed this as, hey, $4 a month to get access to all of our virtual console platforms on the Switch, and have access to some of our highest rated, biggest hitter DLC going forward, that is a much more palatable purchase to make. $4 for Nintendo's like, cool kids plan? Yes, please. Now, is there a world where Nintendo pumps the brakes and decides that regular releases are too frequent and they decide that 2 DLC is enough? Maybe. And if that's the case, we will revisit this conversation and we'll have different words and different opinions on how Nintendo is progressing. But the way they're going right now, this feels good. And I'm super curious to hear what you think. If you've been on the fence, is now the time. And you might be saying Majora's Mask is what pushed you over the edge, but really it's a combination of factors, and it's the reliability that we've seen month in and month out from their N64 releases. But at the same time, yeah, like Majora's Mask, still a very enjoyable, awesome Zelda experience that deviates from a lot of the other Zeldas and does things in an interesting way with really cool temples, great powers, and a very nifty story and one mad mean moon that I think you need to see, especially as we prep and get ready for Breath of the Wild 2. Sure don't seem like Nintendo is doing much else to get us ready. The anniversary has come and gone, and this is your best way to relive Zelda on Switch. So there you go. As of February 18th, 2022, Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pack, it is worth it. Let me know if you're gonna pick it up. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Make sure you're all staying safe, staying healthy, staying happy, staying positive out there. And definitely give me your thoughts on $4 for Nintendo Cool Kids subscription service. Until next time though, everybody, thanks again for watching. Love you lots. SwitchForce out.